all the liberals on Twitter, they're trying to say that all the polling now that shows Trump leading everywhere, they're like, oh, it's not so bad.
I'm not trying to hear that.
So this guy, Elliot Morris, said, not sure I've seen anyone make this comparison yet, but at this point in the 2008 election, McCain was actually leading Obama by 1.5 points in the general election polls. His point he's trying to make is that, hey, just because Joe Biden is behind in every national poll, just because Joe Biden's behind in all these swing states, it's not so bad. This is by far the largest lead a Republican presidential candidate has had over the Democratic candidate in the 21st century. We're going to compare the polling data over the last 6 election cycles, okay? I want you to think now back to 2004. You got Bush running for re-election against John Kerry, the challenger. How many days do you think he led in the polls? He led in the polls for about 69 days. Now let's go to the year 2008. How many days did John McCain, the Republican presidential candidate, how many days did he lead in the polls?
35.
Try 12 days. Mitt Romney, 2012, right? If McCain did it for 12 days, how many do you think Romney had?
0.
That's not true. He actually had 10 days. Fewer than McCain. In 2016, with Donald Trump running for president, how many days was his longest streak of being a leader in the polls?
3.
Oh, so good. I'm going to give it to you. That was so good. 4 days. That's all he had. Now, in the 2020 presidential cycle, how many days did Trump lead in the polls? What was the longest streak of days he was leading in the polls against Biden?
I think probably bigger, right? So maybe like 20.
0. Donald Trump never led the polls over Biden. Not at all. So just to recap, in 2016, the longest Trump had a polling lead average was 4 days. He did it twice. In 2020, Donald Trump never led in the polls, not a single day, wall to wall. It's usually about 15 months. Never. Now I ask you this. How many days has Trump been leading the polls over Biden this presidential cycle, this campaign? 4 days. That was the longest streak he had back in 2016. And in 2020, he didn't lead him a single day. How's he doing this time around? How long has his longest streak been of leading in the polls?
Is it in the 50s?
It's been 151 days.
My gosh.
Since the last time Biden was even tied with Trump. 151 days. And the last time Biden was actually leading in the polls, 189 days.